What up gamers? Welcome to another video for Anthem. We've acquired quite a bit of new info after Gamescom, so I wanted to take this time before PAX West to cover some bits of information we learned in case you missed it. There's new info on the Interceptor, why we don't have space travel in the world of Anthem, and how can we get early access to the game. I'm Sir Mav. Let's get into it. This past week we had Jonathan Warner, the game director for Anthem, host another AMAA on Twitter, and he also was interviewed at Gamescom by Games Radar's Zoe Delahunty Light. Through these moments we've learned quite a few new details. If you missed the Games Radar interview, you can click the card above and it'll teleport you there, or you can click the link in the description down below. Within the Games Radar interview, John basically elevator pitched each Javelin and what they were capable of. Now, in the case that you've been out of the loop on Anthem, Javelins are basically mechanical exosuits that freelancers wear to go out in the world of Anthem. These are rare, handcrafted suits built to withstand the chaotic world left unfinished by the gods. Key fact, these suits are rare. John stated that there is no mass production facilities within the world, which is why you don't see dozens of Javelins flying around. So a direct answer to questions posted on Twitter asking why there are only 4 players in one instance, well, it would go against the lore of Anthem. The freelancers who fly these Javelins are rare, so it wouldn't make sense to the aspect of the story if you had a dozen or so Javelins flying around across the world. Anyway, back to the Javelins. So there are 4 Javelins: Ranger, Colossus, Storm, and the Interceptor. The Ranger is basically your jack-of-all-trades Javelin. This is your balanced build, so to speak, which gives the player a nice balance of agility, firepower, and as John described it, an interesting melee attack, which we all know is the shock mace as we saw it in the reveal trailer not too long ago. The Colossus is your powerhouse. This Javelin is your basic heavy, and it was definitely designed to be your tank in battle. It's important to note though that although you can outfit the Colossus to play a tanky role, you can manipulate the loadout to your playstyle. As in the gameplay reveal trailer, you can see 2 different builds, one that showcases a tanky, up-close and personal build, and the other displaying the long-range elements of the Colossus. It's really up to the player and their playstyle, as John puts it in the interview. The Storm is your combo elementalist. This Javelin fires off elemental attacks to apply status effects which can set up combos with other Javelins on your team. Some status effects mentioned were ice, fire, electricity, and acid. Something new we learned from the Games Radar interview was that while up in the air, the Storm has a damage mitigating shield, but while on the ground it has no shield. We knew that this was essentially our glass cannon Javelin, but it makes for a more interesting dynamic to how you approach your enemies with this new information. And last, the one Javelin many out there have been waiting for more information on, the Interceptor. By the look and name of the Javelin, we've all assumed that this is your agile, speedy Javelin. Well, John confirmed this during the interview. He stated, in general, the Interceptor is really about agility and interesting gadgets. Having the Interceptor in your crew really gives you a lot of relief as far as mob control goes and can provide a lot of interesting balance to the squad. Sorry, there's really no more information than that, but John brought up an interesting fact about mob control and gadgets. It's all theory until they reveal it, but likely this Javelin will have the ability to dash in or sneak, as we know it will have some sort of cloaking mechanism, or maybe it's a gadget that applies a cloaking ability to the team. In any case, it seems this Javelin will be able to take care of trash mobs, so to speak, rather easily while the powerhouse Javelins attack the primary target. It's hard to tell without any footage, but likely more info will be revealed here soon during PAX West. Another interesting fact mentioned on Twitter was that the shield for the Colossus does not take up a gear slot. It is described as a damage mitigation ability by John. The Colossus has its shield, the Ranger its dash, and the Storm has its teleport. The Interceptor we will learn more about later. Some other unknown facts that we learned last week were over crafting. Now we knew from Mark Dara's statement in the last AMAA stream that there would be crafting and we would be able to acquire nodes from such things as plants within the world of Anthem. But now we've learned that loot and gear we obtain from drops in the world will have a secondary value. Players will be able to break down these items into different elements of some sort and use these materials for crafting. The last bit I wanted to cover within this video was information regarding the world of Anthem. During John's interview, we learned some new facts about the world as well as some story elements that weren't previously discussed. It's important to understand the premise of this world before we go any further. In Anthem, we are on an unfinished world. The gods were shaping their creation and then just suddenly vanished, leaving the world in chaos. From the gameplay trailer, we know that the world resides mainly in a jungle biome, but as John Warner stated, there will be some surprises. My guess is that these Shaper relics that we saw within the gameplay trailer, which were used by the gods to literally shape the world around us, will have the ability to change the environment in some way, shape, or form that could possibly allow for a different biome to materialize right before our eyes. Of course, that's all theory, but it will be interesting to see how the devs played this out. Underwater combat has been confirmed not a thing by John, but he did state that there would be some hazardous enemies within the depths of this world, so agility and evasion will play a role while underwater as well. Now, there's been lots of talk of dynamic weather in Anthem, but no real detail of how it will affect players while in their javelins. I've been curious to see if, say, a windstorm of some sort would actually affect our ability to fly, forcing us to correct our flight dependent upon the angle of the wind. That would be a dynamic weather effect, but John did state that the weather would in some way apply its own status effects on our javelins. Of course, the team is still tweaking this dynamic, so how this mechanic will exactly work is still yet to be confirmed. The last added bit in the interview we caught was about what the team calls the rip stream. Ever wondered why no one has left the planet or why there's no space travel? Well, up in the atmosphere, there's this element called the rip stream where if you tried to exit the planet, it would literally tear you apart. Safe to say we could hear an added story bit within the game where some daredevil freelancer tried to make their way into space and was torn to shreds. This also makes sense for the space of the game though, as it gives reasoning as to why we wouldn't want to go high within the atmosphere with our javelins. Definitely something I would like to test if we were able to upgrade our cooldown on our boosters enough to go up that high, and see if we get torn to shreds. One last thing, as I believe there is still confusion on this within the community. John stated this on Twitter to Mad Haber that EA Access basic subscribers get the limited trial for Anthem and Premier subscribers get the full edition on the 15th. So after researching through the EA website and speaking with others on Reddit, this should be how it works. Users that have Origin Access Premier subscription will be able to play the full game of Anthem starting on February 15th, 2019. Unfortunately, this subscription is only currently for PC users. EA Access subscribers will be able to play a 10-hour free trial starting on February 15th, but this is only available on PC or Xbox. Sorry, PlayStation users. Also, the only way to play the demos coming out is if you pre-order the game before launch. I've linked the website in the description below if you would like to take a gander at all the details. And that's about it for today, gamers. Hope you learned something new. PAX West starts in Seattle, Washington on August 31st, but the panel you're not going to want to miss is Anthem's Our World, Your Story in the main theater on Saturday, September 1st at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here the team will be covering how you'll become the hero of your story and an exclusive look at the dangerous world of Anthem. At this panel, I'm sure we will learn more about the story, how the dynamic weather plays a part in this world, and hopefully they finally reveal the Interceptor. But I want to hear from you of what you want to see. What do you hope they cover at PAX West? Do you want to hear more about the story? Would you like more gameplay footage, or do you think they should finally showcase what it would be like to be in a Storm event? Let me know down in the comments section below. With that, if you acquired some new information in this video, give us a like. If you want more on Anthem, follow us on Twitter and tap fire the subscribe button. Until next time, gamers, this is Sir Mav, signing off.